What's going on, my fellow zombie slayers? It is Nelly B here, and today I kind of wanted to just get the mic out and kind of talk about my top 5 favorite Zombies Chronicles DLC weapons. Now, this list isn't necessarily going to include any wonder weapons like the Ray Gun Mark II or the JGB, whatever that thing is called, the Shrink Ray. But it is going to consist of weapons that were only added into Zombie Chronicles. They could possibly be added later into other Zombies maps like Rise and Drak, Revelations, and things like that. And it doesn't include any DLC weapons added into the other maps, so no marshals, no FFAR, none of that. Just simply Zombies Chronicle DLC weapons. Now, I just want to preface this video by saying this is my personal opinion. This is one man's idea, one man's list, one man's favorites, and I guess least favorites, because when you really think about it, there isn't that many, less than 10 actually, which is actually still a lot. But we're gonna count down the top 5 for you right now. So coming in at my number 5 spot, I have the STG-44. Now, if you guys don't know what the STG-44 is, then it's understandable. The STG-44 was introduced into Zombies in World at War, and it was a wall weapon that was outshined by weapons like the MP40 and just better box weapons. Now, this weapon is an assault rifle, and the first time I ever used it was on Origins, and that's more specifically what I'm talking about. Now, this gameplay is from Noct, but I do enjoy the STG-44 on Origins a little bit better. Not anymore, simply because of the wall weapons, and everyone knows how I feel about that. But the STG-44 is just one of those weapons that I love going back to use just for fun. If I want a really powerful high damage assault rifle, I'm going to go with the STG-44. And yes, it is a wall buy back in Origins, so I guess what I said earlier is contradictory. But this weapon is really good. I realized it was really good on the Black Ops 2 version, and I used it in Black Ops 1 on the Giant, and it just didn't have that kick, that feel. It felt literally like a stapler. I was just, stapling the zombies, and even though that might hurt, it's definitely not as good as the BO2 STG-44. So it takes my number 5 spot. So going straight into my number 4 spot, I have the M16. Now, for some people, the M16 is a really nostalgic weapon, and for me, it kind of is. I say it like that simply because, yes, I did use it back then, but also I didn't enjoy it as much as the other weapons on this list. Now, the majority of these weapons are for nostalgic reasons. These aren't necessarily the best weapons. Obviously, there's better weapons than the M16, and for some reason, it seems more powerful. That's probably just because I didn't use it in BO2 with Double Tap 2.0, and I never really got the full effect of the M16. But now that they've added sights onto it, kind of, to me, seem like it is a little bit better. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just a placebo effect. It's like, hey, here's some attachments to make the weapon better, but it doesn't really make the weapon better. It just makes you think the weapon is better. It really doesn't matter to me. The weapon seems like it does a really good job. Now, obviously, it's not a wall weapon on any of these Zombie Chronicles maps anymore, but it is still really good. Now, this thing pack-punched gets a really sick name, the Skull Crusher, and that was one of my favorite pack-a-punched upgraded names. Hey, that's an idea for a top 5. But on a serious note, it was a really good name for me, and I fell in love with that at first sight. It kind of dropped off just because the damage wasn't as high as I wanted it to be on those later rounds, but that's beside the fact. The M16 takes my number 4 spot because it's a really well-rounded assault rifle. So in my number 3 spot, I have kind of an odd choice. The AK-74U was recently added into Zombies Chronicles, and I was really hyped for it. Now, this thing doesn't put out as much damage as I would like it to, but in past maps, I realized that's not really what it was for. SMGs in Zombies aren't meant to be overpowered like they are in Black Ops 3, and I've kind of gotten used to that. I need to realize that SMGs are points weapons. SMGs aren't something you should take to the later rounds and get Deadwire and Blast Furnace on and just wreck zombies with. they're kind of a middle way. It's like you get your pistols. If you want to get a shotgun or a sniper to mess around, go ahead, but you're gonna have to get that SMG to rack up those points to be able to pack punch your assault rifle, your LMG, or your wonder weapon. The AK-74 really brings that nostalgic back just because it's one of my most favorite weapons from Black Ops 1. I can't even explain how much I enjoy using this thing again in Black Ops 3, especially on the maps it was on, and the added attachments I can't really agree with, but hey, Treyarch, they gave us the AK-74. You can put a freaking double barrel on that thing. I'll appreciate it. I actually don't. No. I'm kidding. Don't modify the weapon. Just put some attachments on. That's fine. I don't know why I said that. I'm sorry. So coming in at our number 2 spot, we have none other than the MP40. No, not that knockoff futuristic HG40. We have the glorious MP40. Now, again, this is another weapon like the STG-44 that was introduced in World at War, and I didn't really come to love until Black Ops 2. Now, I know in multiplayer for World at War, it was really, really good, so maybe people kind of fell in love with it in zombies as well, but I wasn't around during World at War. In the Call of Duty scene, anyways. I was definitely alive at that time. I'm not young, okay, I'm 18, alright? But this weapon is definitely something that caught my eye. Now, I did use it on Kino, and it wasn't really my favorite weapon. It was really nice to get points with. It was kind of that typical SMG, like I was explaining with the AK-74U. It's nice for getting points. It's that kind of buffer between your low-end to high-end thunder gun, ray gun, Wunderwaffe. The MP40 is a really, really good weapon, and the MP40 is really just a nostalgic weapon, especially for an Origins player like myself. I only say that because I came to love it in Origins. It wasn't really too overpowered in Origins, but it definitely was better than its Black Ops 1 and World at War counterparts. I think it may just be that placebo effect again, but in Origins, it just had that punch, and that's how it feels in Black Ops 3 on every map. It feels like the Origins MP40 for me, and I can't get enough of it. And also, it's a wall weapon now, so yeah, it's overpowered, at least in Black Ops 3. So I came to the end of this list and I realized I didn't put this weapon on. Guys, the 1911 takes my honorable mention spot just simply because it's a really nostalgic weapon. It's the first weapon that I saw when I played zombies, and I don't really remember much from that first game other than spawning in with that M1911. Now, it wasn't the Colt when I was playing, it was just the M1911, and now it's the 1911. But this weapon still brings back nostalgic feels, and that's really what this list is about, nostalgia. And I love this weapon. It just couldn't make this list completely, simply because it doesn't put out that much damage, and it's not really that useful in Black Ops 3 unless you're having a specific gobblegum. And if you're doing an Easter egg, you're probably going to want to have a different gobblegum, a more specific gobblegum for that Easter egg. But the 1911s take my honorable mention. So coming in at our number 1 spot, we have none other than my favorite weapon in all of Call of Duty, zombies in general, the Galil. Now, I know what you guys may be saying, your favorite weapon? That's so typical. I couldn't think, personally, I know it's not as well known, but personally, I couldn't think of anything more zombies than the Galil, the Colt, and the ray gun. The Galil for me is just something that I used all of the time in Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, and I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but Black Ops 2 is my favorite zombies game. Every time I would see the Galil in the box, I just had to pick it up. It was something in me that wasn't letting me not pick it up. Even if I had the ray gun or I had the thunder gun, it's just the way the gun looks, the way it feels, the way it shoots, the damage, even though it may not be as good in Black Ops 1 or in Black Ops 2 as it could be in Black Ops 3, but it's still a really powerful weapon in my opinion. When I saw it come back in Black Ops 2, I didn't know what to think. My puny mind was just like, wait, what? Is this that mod thing that they're talking about? Why am I seeing the same weapon in a different game? And I realized that this weapon belongs in zombies. For me, it's the perfect zombies killing weapon, other than something like the freaking Panzerschreck, which, I mean, I've never been able to use it, but the first thing that I do when I load up World at War Zombies, if I ever do, as getting that Panzerschreck. But anyways, guys, the Galil tops this list as number 1 for me at least. Let me know what you would change on this list, what you would add, what you would take out, and yeah, guys, that's going to be it for the video. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. Don't forget to put those notifications on for when I stream, and links down in the description to some other great YouTubers. Anyways, guys, that is going to be it for the video. Peace.